Okay, so as a reminder, you know, here's what we're going to be stitching together. A couple sleeves, a couple backs, one big front, and facings. Yay, yeah. So I've printed patterns for y'all right here, and hopefully you'll notice that each piece has a line inside of it. That's your grain line. But also notice that all the grain lines are going in the same direction at the moment, right? Yay. So this is a marker, like a pattern layout. So what you can do is take your 2 yards of muslin, lay it with selvage edges together, or, you know, just kind of fold it in half or whatever. Lay your pattern paper on top with all the grain lines going parallel to your selvage, and cut, you know, like you want it. It's all sort of maximized to fit into the 1 yard here as it's positioned. Or, you know, if you do end up cutting them out individually, just mind all your grain lines when you're placing them. Press your muslin. I mean, ideally, if you just bought it, it's not going to be as wrinkled as mine was. Mine had been kind of folded up, and you know, you can see I got some pretty good creases in it. The one crease, you know, like when you buy yard goods, typically they're folded in half, and so you get that crease down the middle of it, which is kind of ornery. So what you might have to do is like use the squirt feature on it to get that crease out as much as you can, because I pressed this part some. I tried to get the wrinkles out because that's underneath me here. And so, I mean, really, you know, the edge of the paper is aligned with all this. And I mean, if you want to use the rotary things in the mat to cut, just make sure you got a mat underneath you. If you're a pattern weight person, you know, go for it. If you're a pin person, it can be a little tough to kind of get in here and get under, you know, and pin through. So somebody a while back taught me to take a ruler, like the metal ones work better than like the wooden ones, because the wooden ones are kind of thick. Maybe those bigger plastic ones would do the same thing, but I've got the ruler under everything here. And I mean, you don't have to do this, but just, you know, if it helps. And so like, here's the ruler now. And if I stick the pin sort of on the ruler and then let it come off, it does work a little better for pinning. And then I just, you know, I can kind of shift it around here, and where did it end up? There it is. And keep on pinning, you know. But, yep, there's a needle. We don't want to use that. I am cutting through 2 layers, as you see, because we are going to sew one up together in class over the next 4 classes. And then you'll sew one up as your like second exam mid-April. So might as well just save ourselves some time and cut 2 out now, huh? That's my thinking, at least. But, you know, if you don't have a second yard, or you don't feel like cutting out 2 layers, you know, just you save your patterns is my recommendation. The pattern also kind of exists on canvas in the blouse assignment. It's there to print off on like 11 by 17 paper as a PDF. So like this version's a little better, a little, you know, cleaner and just tidier and free, right? Because I'm giving it to you. So what I haven't got printed out for you is interfacing patterns. If I don't ever get around to doing those three, you could just, you know, use the same piece to cut out some interfacing. And I guess that's it for cutting. For those of you who are not here today, I'll roll these guys up and tie them up with a black string. I don't know where it went to, and put them under the whiteboard up there in 368, so you could access, you know, over the weekend or whatever. But those of you who are here, I can, you know, just grab one off the stack right now and you'll have it. Any questions about cutting it out? If we can be, look, our plan is to be cut out and ready to sew next class. And then we'll work through it. You know, I have like a little timeline kind of on the blouse thing, but you know, next class will be stay stitching and darts, shoulder seams. And then the next class we can do facings and zipper. Then golly, it's sleeves. I mean, this thing goes, you know, it should go together fairly quickly, since after you do it once with me, you're gonna do it in a couple of hours, right? So we'll put the sleeves in and then hem them, and that's all there is to it, right? Yeah. When you do your test, you're only doing one sleeve, and we can eliminate those 2 darts. So there is like a smidgen less to do on the test. Well, alrighty then. Cut.